Third graders. Today we're going to do part 2 of our math review because we have our math test tomorrow. Today we're just going to be doing a quick review over line plots, okay? So remember, this is a line plot, and kind of a way that I like to remember that is that the x's that we put on top of the numbers kind of look like lines. And line plots are probably the most tricky kind of graph, in my opinion. And I've noticed that can be kind of tricky for kids as well. So we're going to do we're going to review 2 of these line plots today. So number 1, the question here says, Kim is making bead necklaces. She records the number of beads on different necklaces on a line plot. How many necklaces have exactly 50 beads? So it's really important here that we know what these numbers stand for. Okay, it's really important that we know that. And the way that we can figure that out is by looking at the title here, okay, number of beads. So these are the numbers of beads: 30 beads, 40 beads, 50 beads, and 60 beads. So picture a necklace in your head. And necklaces are made out of beads. So some necklaces have 30 beads, some have 40 beads, 50 beads, and 60 beads, okay? So it wants to know this question: how many necklaces have exactly 50 beads? So remember, right here, 50, okay? All of these X's represent the number of necklaces that have 50 beads. So let's just count the X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that means that 5 necklaces have exactly 50 beads because there's 5 X's right on top of the 50. Okay, so my answer for this question is just 5 necklaces. Perfect. I'm just going to circle my answer. If you're in my class, you know that I love for my students to circle their answers. Okay, so number 2, how many necklaces have fewer than 40 beads? Fewer means less. Okay, so fewer also means less. So I'm going to just write that there so I can remember that. This is asking how many necklaces have fewer or less than 40 beads. Well, this number here, okay, 40, it wants to know how many necklaces have less or fewer than 40 beads. So we're not counting 40 here. Well, the only number that's less than 40 on this line plot is 30. Okay, 30 is less than 40. So that means that we just have to count how many necklaces have 30 beads, because 30 is less than 40. So it's 1, 2, 3. So only 3 necklaces have less than 40 beads. And that's the answer to that problem. Okay. And question number 3, how many necklaces have 50 or more beads? So 50 or more. So how many necklaces have 50 beads? And how many necklaces have 50 or more beads? Okay, more than 50. So let's try to figure out how many necklaces have 50 beads. Okay, so 50 is right here. 50 is the number of beads. Let's count these X's to see how many necklaces have 50 or more beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I also have to do or more, right? More than 50. So the only number on this line plot that's more than 50 is 60. So I'm adding together the 50 and the 60. Okay, I'm adding together the numbers that are the necklaces that have 50 beads and the number of necklaces that have 60 beads. So it's 5 plus 2, and that is 7. Okay, so 7 necklaces have 50 or more beads. Okay, and I'm just gonna circle my answer here. All right, so that's our first line thought review. Let's go on to the second one. Now this says spelling test scores. Okay, 85, 90, 95, and 100. So this is like percentages. So 85 would be a B, 90% would be a B plus, 95% would be an A, and 100% would be an A plus. Okay, so which test score did the most, that's an important word there, students receive? Well, all I have to do here is look to see what test score, remember these are the test scores, right? It's really important to figure out what these numbers are representing, and they represent spelling test scores. Which test scores did the most students receive? So I look to see, well, what test score had the most X's on top? And that's 85%, right? 85% clearly has the most X's. I don't even have to count them to see that. So all I have to write for my answer is 85. And I'm going to put the percent symbol there because that is what these numbers stand for. Okay, 85%. So 85% had the most students receive that score on their spelling test. How many more students scored 90 than 100? Ooh, how many more is really important here. How many more means to subtract, okay? So, how many more students scored 90 than 100? Well, let's see how many students scored 90%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 students scored 90%. How many students scored 100%? 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 students. So I have to figure out how many more scored 90 than 100, and how many more means to subtract. So I know that I have to do 8 minus 4. Okay, 8 is the bigger number that always goes on top in a subtraction problem. So really we're doing 8 minus 4. Okay, 8 minus 4 equals 4. So 4 more students. 4 more students got 90% than 100% on their spelling test. And number 3, how many students in all took the spelling test? Ooh, in all seems like an important word here. And in all means to add. So I have to add together how many students took the spelling test. Okay, so I have to add together all of these X's. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is figure out how many X's there are in each score. For 85, let's count the X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 students scored 85% on their spelling test. I already put down that 8 students scored 90%. How many students scored 95%? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students scored 95%. And then I already wrote down that 4 students have 100%. So I have to add together all of these numbers. 10 plus 8 plus 6 plus 4. The way I'm going to do that is first just add 10 plus 8. And I know that 10 plus 8 equals 18. So I'm going to write 18 down here. And now I'm going to add together 6 plus 4. 6 plus 4 equals 10. So I'm going to add 18 plus 10 now. Or I could write that up and down. It probably would have been easier if I would have done that. So try to figure out what 18 plus 10 is right now. If you are thinking that is 28, then you are correct. 28 students took the spelling test in all. So that must have been how many students were in that class. Perfect. Okay, so this was our line plot review. We just did 6 questions on 2 different line plots. If you are still a little bit confused on line plots, then you might want to rewatch this video. And I'm going to also have you, if you're in my class at least, you're going to do a page out of your math workbook, your little math workbook, and that's going to help you review for your test even more for tomorrow. Okay, so go to our Bitmoji classroom to find out what page you have to do. And I wish you all luck on your test tomorrow. I know you're going to do great. And if you're worried about line plots, just know that there are not that many questions about line plots. So you should be good to go as long as you really understand picture graphs and bar graphs. Okay, so I will see you all later, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.